Let's take a look at the patch notes. Words from the team. Hello Hunters. Our update 20 is aimed at polishing and refactoring old and half-finished systems to make the game in its current state feel more complete and shiny. This paves the road for the final update in the future and hopefully allows a lot of replayability and enjoyment. This is why I recommend that if there is a time you want to reset, if you feel like bored of your world, this is a good time to reset. You don't have to, but it's a good time to reset. Herald Changes. The Velara stage. Rather than many different waves of mobs, there are now 5 set waves. Each wave, a grey zone will appear on the floor. You must lure mobs into the zone and kill them to complete the zone. When a zone is completed, fully green, the mobs will despawn and the next zone will appear, with mobs spawning shortly after. After all zones are completed, all mobs despawn and the Herald will continue to the next phase. I think this was an important update because the Velara stage could completely crash people's clients, and more importantly, it was definitely a soft cap on how quick you could do that stage. I know a lot of people who played a lot of Herald runs will probably agree with me that it was a little bit of a bottleneck for a speedrunner. Now it should be better. There's still a bit of bottlenecking. We might still patch this a little bit in the future, balance it a little bit different so the mobs can move faster, for example. But we're happy with the current way it is for update 20. Wendar stage. Breaking all sparks in time will now result in Herald instantly becoming stunned, skipping his attack. So that's for a speedrunner. If you manage to break all of them, you can skip the whole waiting for his attack and going into the yellow zone. That's also another thing we've done in order to adjust speedrunning the Herald, which we like when people do, and a lot of people are really good at it. New and updated rooms. Here we go, dudes. The memory room. Players will enter a room and activate the pillar. 4 sigils will appear on the upper level of the room. Make sure to memorize these shapes and colors. Once the timer runs out, you must break the sigils you remember seeing on the floor. If correctly guessed, rewards will spawn. If failed, guardians will spawn. Let's do one of these rooms real quick so we can take a look at it in-game. Here it is. The way this room works is you click the pillar, and now you gotta pay attention up top. Oh, we still got some bugs here. Okay. The moon, the green moon, and the yellow bumbo face. Blue circle. Oh, what's the last one? I don't know what the last one was. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. There was a yellow bumbo face, so I gotta break the yellow bumbo face. And a red square. Okay, red square. You're right. Was it a blue circle? There was a moon. There was a blue moon, I think. Blue moon. Blue circle. Nice. Okay, got it. And there was a moon. Was it a yellow moon? Green moon. Green moon? Yay! We did it! And there we go. The rewards of this room is chests, or can be chests, coins, etc., just like the X-Mark room. And also, there's a chance to get uniques. We just got one of the new uniques in update 20, a magnet unique. I think that was quite lucky that we pulled a unique there, by the way. I think it's like 1 in 20 rooms or so. Now, should you fail to remember the different sigils, so for example, there's a yellow star there, there is a blue square, and, well, that was all I saw. So I saw the blue square. I thought, was it a filled one? I failed it anyway. Should you fail, you'll be facing these awesome guys with the pow hammers. I mean, I'm pretty high level. I'm pretty chilled here. These are easy for me. But yeah, it could be a little bit of a chaotic situation. Look at them though. They look amazing. And it's all part of like the polish that we've tried to do for this version. Get mobs to look and feel like the room, for example. Then you kill them and then you're set free. So you don't instantly die if you fail. Yeah, that's the memory room. A throwback to the old puzzle room that people loved back in the days in Vault Hunters. Furthermore, there's another new room, the Dragon Room. The Dragon Room existed in the past, but we've updated it. The Dragon Room got a huge update, a big overhaul. It got completely changed. Players now enter the lower pit and activates the pillar. There will be 4 waves of goblins that spawn from the tunnels, and they will path to the center portal. There are 7 types of goblins with respective drops. There are uniques, cards, gear, jewels, fruit, gold, and soul shards. We'll take a look at that as well. Here is the updated Dragon Room. I think that our builder who did this, Cat, did an amazing job with this because she maintained the feel of the old Dragon Room while getting it an update that it desperately needed. I know I'm expecting that a lot of people didn't want this room to go away. A lot of people like it for coins, but to all of you, I say this. We have worked really hard on trying to make challenge rooms a challenge or a specific thing happening, and I want them to feel more like mini games than they have done in the past. past, we've at the same time increased the, or lowered the rarity of the cove. So you'll find more coves where you can get your coin and needs. This room, you click the pillar and the dragons breathe fire. That's so cool. I love it. And then we get the goblins. This one is the card guy, I guess. Yeah, that's a card guy as well. And these are gear goblins. So the idea here is that you have to choose what goblins you deem worthy for destruction. And I'm going to try and get this guy. They're trying to get to the middle. They're trying to avoid me and get to the middle. Come on, dude. He did not die from that. Oh, I frost novaed him. Oh my goodness, frost nova powerful. There we go. And I actually got quite a lot of card packs. Now, the caveat with this room is that the wave will only continue. Oh, this is gear package. It will only continue if you kill 1 goblin on wave 1, 2 on wave 2, 3 on wave 3, and 4 on wave 4. The maximum amount of goblins you can kill is therefore 16. Here's a gold goblin. So there's still a way to get gold in this room. I have a very... No, actually, Frost Nova is great for this. Come on. Come on, dude. Yes. Okay, can I get one more? Can I continue? This is Soul Shard guy. No! And there it is. There it is. So I came out of this room with a little bit of gold and a little bit of cards. And as I say, there's also a unique goblin that you can find. There's one more thing in this room. The room will actually remove, or not remove, it will nullify all of your area of effect bonus that you have. So if I had 24% here, it's actually 0. But there we go. There's the dragon room. We've done a new Omega room, first time in a long time. An Omega room for card packs. Cute little cardboard boxes fill the room. Make sure to check the upper office area. That's a little bit of a sneaky. Here is the new Omega room. The warehouse. And this room, as I say, you cannot craft an inscription for this. You have to find it in the wild. It is a very rare Omega room, not quite as rare as the dig site. It contains of a lot of these cardboard boxes. And I'm going to turn off my magnet because I think this looks so cool. You break them with any tool and you get absolutely nothing. Absolute garbage. No. Some of them are garbage. Others will contain more card packs. In average, if you break all of the card boxes in this room, I'm going to let you guys explore it by yourself. If you break all of the card boxes in this room, you should be getting, in average, anywhere between 70 and 100. If you get 100 card packs in here, you've had a massive jackpot. You can get less than 70 as well. The ranges that we did for this room is huge on purpose so that it feels special and unique every time you find it. There are some secrets here as well, but as I say, I'm going to let you guys explore it. I'm very, very excited. It is a warehouse where they are destroying bad packs. So yeah, you better hunt this room down before they burn up all of your cardboard boxes. Let's continue. Let's get and look at gear updates. Unique gear. Unique shards can now be used to craft a random unique in the Vault Forge. These are obtained when scrapping a unique piece. In order to craft a unique gear piece, the player must have reached Grandmaster crafting level. We'll take a look at that in a minute. There are a few more things I want to say about this first. Unique models have new variant transmogs. So you can, with several uniques, not all of them, but several uniques, you can swap the model in the transmog table. For example, the Rosethorn Ivy. We have several new uniques, and I know already that some of these, or one of this, is going to be the new meta for any AP build, for any spellcaster build. So inside your forge, you will find at the very bottom this thing here, craft unique. But in order to be able to craft it, you have to have reached Grandmaster with your proficiency, which you get from scrapping Vault gear. Now, we made another big change to gear crafting. This might still not be the final version, people might still not like it, but we have made it so that it favors the proficiency. You unlock levels much earlier than you did previously, except for the Grandmaster. So as you can see, these lines are changed, they're in different positions now, meaning that you will be able to reach the Master tier quicker than you were in the past. So for me, I am actually at level 100. I'm already at the Master tier at level 100. So I'm halfway there with the Grandmaster. Now, what does Grandmaster do? It allows you to craft unique gear, which is really cool, but it also has been buffed in this patch. We have made it so that a Grandmaster craft will have a greater modifier chance of 50%. That means that you will be able to make gear pieces with half a legendary when you craft them quite early on. So if I craft myself a sword, I actually didn't get it. I actually didn't get it here either. Oh my goodness, it's 50%. What is happening? Let's do a 69er. No, still nothing. There we go. So there we go. I got an improved modifier. I got it on increased champion damage. That means that I got a tier that I can't achieve by finding gear. Hopefully this makes crafting as you play through the game a little bit more interesting. I still think that we have a little bit of work to do, a little bit of things that we can do to make it a little bit better, but I like it. And then, as I say, the ultimate reward for reaching Grandmaster is that you can craft uniques. Now, uniques, you will need unique shards, and to get unique shards, as I said when I read the patch notes, you will need to scrap a unique item. Let's see if I can find something. I can scrap a baguette. Yeah, I'll scrap a baguette. If you scrap a baguette, you will be guaranteed to get a unique shard, and as I say, you need 4 of them in order to craft yourself a unique. And it would be a completely random unique. We've been inspired by Diablo 4 with this, with how you craft mythics, but it costs 16 volt alloys, 10 volt gold, and 4 shards. And then when I craft it, I got boots. Okay, interesting. Crafted by Scale 85 will be the tag on them. And what are these? Pacifist, I think? Pacifist sandals. You can see the different transmogs as well, since you can now transmog. And there we go. They're pretty garbage though. And then I could just scrap them again and continue my journey with unique shards. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat. There is a little bit of a trade-off that we've done. Uniques will no longer spawn with a living modifier. I know a lot of people liked that they did, but unfortunately with the way our gear system works, it wasn't actually beneficial for the player always. Sometimes you would have a unique level up with you and you would actually lose power of the unique. So the best we could do is allow you to craft your uniques at your level, and hopefully by doing so, finding uniques early game still has value in the form of unique shards. Let's take a look at the new uniques. All of them are covered in the unique codex so that you can check out how to get these inside the game, but I have them in my inventory. And let's start with the Butcher Axe. The Butcher Axe is the axe that you see villager guardians wear. I think it's awesome. It's been in the game for a while, this transmog, but we haven't used it for a unique. I think it looks really, really cool. The unique effect on this is that it has a chance to gain 1 heart when killing a mob, but you can no longer gain health from any other sources. The next unique we'll look at is the Vitalis plate. This is an interesting chest plate. It looks weird as hell. I think this is a broken texture. The Vitalis plate is a chest plate with a block chance default roll. It has health, it has armor, it has resistance, great for tanking, great rolls as well. It also has mana regen. Then it has 2 levels to heal, or it has a random 2 to 4 levels to heal. And the unique effect is 25% chance to gain 1 heart when successfully landing a block. So that's a quite interesting tank piece of gear. And it drops from goblins in the goblin room that we checked out. So that's very, very cool. Let's take a look at the next one. Frost Warden. A new shield. I really like this model. It has a lot of like bumpiness and stuff like that I really like, and some icicles in the bottom. It gives you levels to Ice Bolt. It gives you block chance. And then it does successful blocks have a 42% chance, or the chance is a range, to glacially imprison the blocked mob. I think this is going to be a favorite with a lot of ice builds, and I wanted to in Update 20. I wanted to give some love to the Frost Endurers out there. Next unique, the Ender Rings. These are not designed by me. These are designed fully by our beloved Exploding Dice, who's done a lot of these awesome models. This is a focus, an offhand, and it gives warp a little bit of love. It increases the warp projectile speed, it lowers its cooldown, and it gives levels to warp in addition to mana regen. When you use this, your dash warp is super quick. It's so ridiculously quick. Place the pieces on a pedestal. That's a great patch noting. That is a 10 out of 10 patch noting. What are they called? They're called pillars from Buildscape, which is also a new mod that we're adding with Update 20. Super exciting. I think Ender Rings is going to change the definition of dash quite a lot for people. Next up, let's take a look at the Echo Flare. Look at how cool it looks there with the transparent candle. What does it do? Well, it has levels to dash. It has a mana base roll like a focus usually does. It also has a mana regen roll, and then it has chance to instantly reduce all of its cooldown when casting an ability. This means that you can, if you get lucky, get an instant reset of the ability you just cast. This would be absolutely great for mage builds that use Storm Arrow, for example, or Hunter. Absolutely very game defining unique. Next, let's look at the new jewel, the Frozen Heart. This one has a size between 5 and 20, so you can get this at roll 5, which would be insane. Looting an Omega chest has a 15% chance to cast a level X Frost Nova on the chest. So the Nova and the percentage chance is random. But this, together with a lot of item rarity, will have you freeze. Again, I did say that I've been wanting to give some love to all the Frost enjoyers out there. This will give a lot of extra freezing and glacial possibilities and stuff like that. Next up, let's look at our new unique magnet. Quickstone. It doesn't have much. It has 2 things, but it's a big but. It does have a copious roll, 11 to 25%, which is standard for level 100. And then it has gain X% increased overall mining speed. That means that every mining speed thing that I have already gets multiplied and increased by the percentage. Very, very cool. That's Quickstone. Love the texture. Big shout out to DJ for that. The final unique that we have added that I want to show you, I deem be completely game defining, completely game changing for a lot of casters out there. It's a weapon. It's an axe. It's called CurseForge. This is too good of a unique. I already regret it. I'm already feeling the nerf veins inside me needing to nerf this thing. Quickstone, as I say, is an axe. It's a main hand weapon. It has a basic attack damage roll, same as any axe on level 100. It has attack speed as well. It then has an ability power roll that is higher than it can have on a normal weapon. However, it can't be legendary. So it rolls 21 to 45. It has increased attack speed, and finally, the unique effect is every 9 hits unleash an Arcane Nova, dealing 180% of your ability power in a 3-block radius. This means that when you're on-hitting with your mage build, you will, after a certain amount of hits, get a Nova, Arcane Nova, Shockwave, that does AoE damage. Hopefully this can complement any caster build to be more of a battle mage where you can do extra damage up front. Starforge, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, I think is an amazing, absolutely grand new addition to Vault Hunters. And as I say, they're all in the codex. You can figure out where they are dropped and how to get them. Another new thing that is absolutely game defining that we've added in update 20 is this block, which you recognize from the past, but it has got a new function. We use the same model because the old archive block is gone. This is the gear sealer. And the gear sealer will be the final step of making your gear good. We have replaced the old Vorpal focuses with ascendant marks, and they will update automatically in your game. And the way this works is that you put a gear piece in here that you're happy with, that you're done with, because after you do this, after you seal your gear piece, you cannot change it again. And based on the gear's rarity and level, it will cost a different amount of ascendant marks and painite and gold. It's quite a lot, by the way. As you can see, this is a common sword at level 100. Therefore, it's going to cost 1,000 painite gems, that's for the level, and 600 vault gold and 2 marks to do the seal. But we're going to do it because this is a very, very cool little thing. Here we go. Let's seal my sword. Oh, it's so pretty. And there we go. You will get a sealed outcome. I actually got very lucky here. I got something very, very good. It replaced, so it can either replace a random modifier on your piece with a sealed modifier, or if you get super lucky, it's 1 in 10, it will add a sealed modifier, not touching any of your modifiers. So the risk is that you may lose your legendary modifier or something that you really care about, but the reward, the sealed modifiers, are quite strong. In my case, it replaced the heart fragment chance that I had on my sword and instead gave me +4 levels to all offensive abilities. If you have a frozen modifier, it cannot target it. So there we go. What's exciting about this as well is that you can do this, you can apply this to unique items. Unique items are, as you guys know, unmodifiable, but you can seal them, indeed. You can put them in here and you can seal them. It is very expensive, however. It costs 10 marks. So you got to make sure to grind out some marks to use this function. But as I say, it can make the gear super, super powerful. And hopefully, my goal with this system is that it's a min-maxer's dream. It's a min-maxer's dream to be able to completely get something incredibly overpowered. Here's the last caveat and the coolest thing with this thing. The coolest thing is that this will also have the possibility, even on a unique, to give you a unique effect. So it could, in theory, replace my durability roll with a unique effect, such as, I don't know, the magnet with the mining speed, the Starforge with arcane being cast, any other unique effects. Let's take a quick look at this as well. Look at how many different unique variants we have. So this is the gladiator buckler in 3 different displays. We have the we have the baguette as a croissant as well. I don't really want to showcase all of these. There is a pink Excalibur. Yep. I'm not going to showcase all of these. I want you guys to be able to see them in game, but they look amazing. Speaking about gear, let's take a look at chaotic gear. There is a new rarity gear called chaotic, and this new rarity does not follow the usual conventions of vault gear. There is no modifier exclusivity, and prefix and suffix modifiers do not respect their position. Any affix modifier can be anywhere. This means that you can get attack damage, increased attack damage, and resistance on the same gear piece. You can also get 2 attack damage rolls. Legendary gear can roll with 2 of the same modifiers. Exactly. Chaotic gear can be found by killing champions and found in dungeons. Chaotic gear cannot be rolled in the artisan station. And we'll take a look at it in game. So chaos gear, chaotic gear has the lovely color purple. When you identify these, again, they are final. You can't modify them in the artisan station. So let's see what we got here. You can get a gear piece that looks like this, and it looks just like a normal gear piece. Doesn't have anything special, but if you get lucky, at the moment, chaos gear is being very chaotic and very chaos. They don't work in my current version of the game. But basically, yeah, you can get a gear piece that rolls any modifier on any affix slot, and they don't care about any rules or anything like that. The caveat is that you can't modify them in the artisan station. We go back to patch notes reading since we couldn't demonstrate the chaos gear. Imbuement altar and dungeon overhaul. We have spoken a lot about gear. We are not done with gear yet. Dungeons have been redesigned, creating a more cohesive layout and decor design. Barrels will be placed behind a spawner to create a fight before looting feel. Dungeon champions have been replaced with dungeon bosses. That's not entirely true. The way I would word this is that the end champion in dungeons is now a dungeon boss, which is an improved champion. Dungeon bosses must be killed before unlocking the imbuement altar. We'll take a look at this in a second. Dungeon will either offer an imbuement altar or a discovery globe, or the potion alchemy station. Imbuement altars offer an improvement to a selected modifier. Imbuing gear becomes unmodifiable. Failure will also corrupt the gear, making it unmodifiable. Discovery globes will reveal a specified room based on the globe type. Let's have a look at that in game. So, dungeon changes. A hard spider dungeon is that we get to try this out in. First and foremost, as I say, the dungeon layout has been massively improved. Big shout out to Kat, who's done an amazing job with this. You can still get champions inside dungeons. Okay, we're okay. I'm not even taking... Oh no, I'm taking absorption damage. Gotta hit my shots. And there we go. We just got a dungeon mob drop the chaos gear that we just spoke about. So one of the changes is that the barrels are now still in the dungeons, but they're more protected by spawners. They're not all protected by spawners. You can still pacifist a dungeon run and run past stuff, but they're more so protected. And as you can see, the barrels are mixed. So I just looted a living one and an ornate one. We have barrels behind there. We have a gilded barrel over here. The reason for this change is actually me thinking more about lore. It didn't make any sense. There wasn't any ownership in the dungeon defining it as an ornate dungeon. There wasn't a difference in the design. This dungeon could once be ornate, could next time be living. And so I felt like it creates a more exciting thing, because I felt personally when I played the dungeon, I would many times open the door, see that it was gilded, and go out if I didn't want gilded. Now you have a chance of finding any barrel you want in any dungeon. And instead the game rewards exploring, which I like. I like that aspect. Lots of gilded down here. Now you can, of course, get super lucky and find loads of the one you wanted, or none of the one you wanted. Another big thing to say is that with this change, we've actually increased the amount of overall barrels in any given dungeon. Slightly, I think we increased it from 35% chance to 50% chance to generate. So you should be getting a little bit more dungeon barrels in every dungeon. And here we go. This is the new dungeon boss. The dungeon boss is an enhanced champion. They have a lot of health, and they are quite difficult to kill. It's going to require you... I might die here, actually. It's going to require you to have a build that's good at single target, and that can handle these guys. This guy is just stuck. Oh no, I froze him with Frost Nova. Frost Nova is great. Frost Nova, absolutely great. And as you can see, he has a little banner showing that I am the boss of this, or he is the boss of this dungeon. They protect, let's see if we got an imbuement altar. Yes, they protect this new thing. Imbuement altar of doom. And I can't open it until I kill this guy. You can see that it has chains on it at the moment. Ooh, that was stupid. That was dumb of me. Freeze the guy again. Dude, Frost Nova is so strong. Eventually, he will die. Very tanky boy. There we go. Boom. And now that I've killed him, this thing unlocks. And this, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, this is the new imbuement altar. A brand new feature in dungeons, replacing the old discover modifier thing, which, to be honest with you, I liked discover modifiers, but I've played through Vault Hunters many times where I end up never discovering the right modifiers that I wanted. And with the new addition of faceted focuses, being able to roll whatever modifier you want on your gear, it didn't really have that much use. This, however, does. When you open it up, you may imbue a vault gear item. If it succeeds, it will upgrade the selected modifier, but if it fails, it will corrupt your gear piece. Beware, once you have confirmed a gear piece, you cannot undo it. You can also do this with unique gear. We're gonna do it with my helmet, maybe? Yeah, let's take my helmet. It's a good example. We put it in here, we confirm it, and now we get a selection randomly of 3 modifiers. It depends on how many modifiers it has on it. It may just have 1 that it can imbue. But in this case, we got 3 different options here. We can, at a 57% success chance, do healing efficiency. We could do health at a 41% success rate or 45% chance to do mana regen. The chances refer to the success of the imbuement. We're going to go with healing efficiency because that's the highest chance, and it succeeded. So it upgraded healing efficiency from 42% to 54%. It became improved. Now, you can also imbue unique vault gear. You can't imbue some of the modifiers on it, like the unique modifiers with the on the Excalibur, for example, but you can imbue other things. However, you can only use this thing once. As you see, if I try and go into it again, I can't use it. Other players in the vault can, though. So if you play with a friend, you can say, oh, I found an imbuement altar, and then they can come down and imbue a gear piece in their thing. So you see how we've done like a line of gear? You start by wanting to find a legendary that you want, then using focuses and cryonics and empowered chaotic focuses, you make it perfect, and you make sure to have really good rolls like this chestplate here, for example. Then the next step, if you want to min-max, is that you imbue it and get lucky with imbuement like I did on my helmet, so that you get a good roll. And then finally you seal the gear and get lucky again. And now that is the road for making your ultimate gear in Vault Hunters, update 20. The other thing we've added, the other chance you have, in addition to the potion modifier workbench that existed in the past, is you can get lucky and find a globe. Now this is the most common globe. It's a gray one, and when you click it, you will unlock the map of the entire vault, all of the gray rooms, which is common rooms. Quite good! And you do it for the entire vault party, not just yourself. You can find an Omega globe showing you all the Omega rooms. You can find challenge globe showing you all the challenge rooms, and an ore one showing you all the ore rooms, or this one, the common one. Let's continue. Sigils, first of all. We have introduced a new way to increase the difficulty of your vaults. Sigils allow players to increase the risk for a better reward. There are 5 different tiers of sigils. The 4 first are craftable. Adept makes it 50% harder, expert, master, veteran, and then legend, which is not craftable. You can only find this one in treasure rooms in the treasure sand. These ones you can craft, and we'll go into the game and I'll show you them in game right now. This is for people who feel like maybe the scav run isn't really that exciting. This is specifically for people who are at end game. Sigils are craftable like this. This is the adept one. Adds 50% difficulty and also adds crate tiers, meaning that the crate that you get when you complete the vault gets better. The expert one, which adds 3 crate tiers and doubles the difficulty, requires some black opal to craft. But yeah, for every one you go up, it starts with 2 and you go all the way up to 6 in the crate tiers. So the master one is all black opal and echo pogs, and then the veteran one requires echo extraordinary gems as well to craft. So they're quite expensive. You can, however, as I said, also find them in treasure rooms. The legend one you can't craft. That's 500% difficulty and 6 tiers. I think people who have played a lot of Vault Hunters will enjoy these more. But I also think that beginner players, new players might enjoy the idea of trying to challenge themselves with an adept or an expert run. You can absolutely do it. Card system. Big polish here. This is it. This is what I've been wanting to do for over a year. Let's just go back into the game. I think I know what to talk about when it comes to cards. Hopefully I don't need the patch notes, but everything is in the patch notes. You guys need to read through it. First things first is that we have a brand new block called the card binder, this thing here. And we have a deck station. The card binder is a holder for cards. This thing can hold all of your cards, and what's better is that it can also hold your deck. And so you can work with your deck and search through your cards at the same time in a very satisfying way. I'm gonna go downstairs in my basement because I've actually been playing around with the card binder, and so I have a card binder with some cards in it. And look at this, it renders the cards on top. Very, very pretty. It's the first 6 cards in the card binder as well. So in this one I have a lot of them, and as you can see, if I want to see red cards and I want to see only resource cards, I can do it that way. There's filters for shiny cards or foils, and so yeah, this hopefully will make it so much easier for you guys to manage your cards. Speaking about making things easier, another thing we've done, and this applies to evolution cards, is that we buffed them in a way. We have removed the 3 or 4 layers they had when an old evolution card would say for each blue evolution row card, for example. Now they will always, not randomly, they will always require a color and a position, and that's it. So you will see green adjacent card, you will see blue row card. The goal here was to make evolution cards feel more approachable for the random gamer and not be too complicated to build around. Now, evolution cards was always the one-stop standard and the best cards in the game, and they still are, if you can be bothered to spend the amount of time you need in order to make an evolution card deck. They still have the highest ceiling of power, but stat cards have, in this update, become much better. Not because the modifiers on the stat card has changed, they still have the same type of modifier, whereas stat cards here, they still have the same roles, but because we have introduced deck cores. And so I'm going to look at this deck station. The deck station is what the quest asks you to craft, and from the beginning, you're able to access the 2 tabs here, decks and cores. You can craft either of these 3 decks, and you also get a little preview of how they how they look together inside, because not only is a deck about the size, but it's also about the socket count, which it shows 1 on all of these, as well as the layout and the slot. As you can see, we have added a new slot called Arcane. Nowadays, in update 20, you need an Arcane slot to use the Arcane cards, but as a trade-off, we've removed the complex requirements for arcane cards, should I say. In the past, it would say if you had at most 2 red cards, or if you had at most 5 yellow cards, or if you had at least between 1 to 5 resource cards, something like this. We've removed all of that because we felt like it was too much fluff. New ones simply do plus to the level of the card. So this one does +1 level to life tap, which is what I'm using here. However, instead you cannot no longer place them in normal slots. You need to place them in arcane slots. So that is, if we look at the card binder, that is what these stars are here. Now, these are only 3 decks. We have actually in this update removed all the decks from dropping inside the vault because they became a very spamming thing. And instead, you can unlock with research under vault upgrades, vault decks. If you unlock the advanced decks, you can get the advanced deck tab, and here you can craft all of the decks in the games. However, they all will be grayed out by the time you unlock this, with maybe the exception of the god decks. It depends on how late you unlock it in the game, because they all require you to do a task in order to unlock them. For example, the gilded deck will require you to loot at least 3,000 gilded chests before you can unlock it, and that is from the time you've unlocked the research, not from the entire time of the playthrough. They're also quite expensive. They all cost 1 Omega Pog as a base, which is, you know, heavy. Now, the good news is that once you complete the quest here, you will be given an Omega Pog. So the first deck you craft that's an advanced deck, that's on the house. The goal with the design here is that none of these decks is better than the next one. They're all supposedly equally good, but in different ways. Layout, as I said earlier, slot configuration, and socket count should together make it so that every single deck here has an interesting point of its own. Now, what are the sockets for? Well, they're for the new cores. There are 2 different levels of cores as of now. The lesser core, which are all craftable in this station, and the normal cores that are only findable. And cores can be socketed through an anvil into a deck. I'm just going to craft one of these, I guess. So if I were to craft one of these decks, I'll craft a double deck here. Then it does have 1 socket, and so I can go to an anvil, and I can then also, I don't want to use my shiny core, because that is a rare core that I found. I'll use a golden core that I have here, 15%. These are cores that I have found inside the game. They have various drop locations. You can see actually how you can get them here. But if we look at this, it has has 15% efficiency to all yellow cards. So if I were to take my deck and apply this thing here, I get plus 15% efficiency to all yellow cards. Now, what does efficiency mean? It increases output of the card. So if I were to take a yellow area of effect card, let's say, and I put it in this deck, it's going to not give me plus 0.5, but instead 0.58, which is a 15% increase. If I happen to find another core that I would want in this deck, I can't socket it. So I can't go here and say that I want a shiny core. It won't let me because I've used up the socket. However, if I find an upgraded version of the core that I've inserted, for example, I found a 19% golden core, it does allow me to upgrade it. Hopefully this system means that more people can get interested in cards and see how powerful they can be in the game. Speaking about cards, let me also show you another new feature in this update that will help with cards, but not just cards, also with jewels. That is the unboxing station. The unboxing station is amazing. The unboxing station, you can insert cards or jewel pouches, booster packs or jewel pouches, and you can do this via a hopper or like automatically inserted from a modular router. And when you do, you can open it and get this screen in front of you to select your cards. So very, very quickly will you be able to determine what card you want, or you can auto juice it. For example, I would want the shiny ability power here. I think that's a good card. I'd want the attack damage card. Maybe the mana card. No, I'll take the attack damage card. Now I'm down to jewels. It also respects my expertise with getting an extra jewel when I identify them. I could also just immediately scrap the jewel, which I want to do there. I want to do there as well, and there. Oh, we got a legendary there. Nice. We'll take that one. And there we go. Now all of this stuff, of course, you can pick up by having a chest underneath this. It will be automatically picked up then, and then you can hopper it out and automate your system and do whatever you want with it. Now we're done with the highlights. Now we go to the smaller things. We have added keybinds for coin pouch, antique book, and shard pouch so that you can open them with a keybind. You can now also hover the item in your inventory and press the keybind to open it, just like the backpacks. Very good. We've updated the inventory HUD quite a lot. It will not carry over your previous settings, so that could be important to know. You will have to redo your position of all the stuff. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you're coming back into Vault Hunters after a few years of not playing it or whatever. We have done quite a lot in the last few updates with accessibility settings. You find them in options, Vault Hunter options, accessibility, and the specific thing here is the Vault HUD, where everything can be moved, everything can be customized. You have this missing backpack thing. You can move your level around, you can move your Vault modifiers and your potion effects, etc. Anyway, that's a big thing in Vault Hunters, and as I say, unfortunately, you'll have to redo. Let's continue here with other additions. The UI for the Crystal Workbench has been updated, allowing for sigils, capstone, seals, and augments. We had a new chest trap called Mana Steal, and when in its radius, it will constantly drain mana until it despawns. We are not enjoyers of traps, but we need some more variations of them. We added a new capstone called the Blacksmith Capstone. It allows for scrapping of all non-legendary gear or vault pendants found in chests. We also added a new companion hunt capstone that guarantees a hunt at some point in the vault for every user above level 50 that joins. I think that a lot of people are going to like this. You can now hunt companions more deterministically. Speaking about companions, we added new ones. We had a Cinder, which is a cat variant. We had a Jade, which is a pug variant. We had a goat, a lion, a polar bear, which is a panda variant, a camel, which is a unicorn variant, and seasonal pets. Some of them you can get here during the 12 days of Gregmas or during using a code before the end of the year. Very important. If you didn't know, we have a lot of cool Twitch drops that you can get watching the streams. Let's take a look at some of these. I don't think I should showcase all of them. Cinder, Jade. Oh, it's adorable. A goat. It's so good. Okay, we got a lion. That looks great. Absolutely great. Let's have a look at the polar bear. Oh, it's adorable. We have a new holiday theme with holiday transmogs for a limited time. I haven't shown this on stream, and it will be more available during December. It will be guaranteed, I think, or almost all vaults that aren't augmented between December 24th and December 26th will be the holiday theme. It was an old theme that we polished, and we added new mobs to it. It's amazing. It has Grinch mobs. It has Yetis. It's very, very cool. We also have a stat tracking for Patreon supporters. Yep. If you are a patron on any level in Vault Hunters, on any level, you will get stat tracking on your gear. This is a thing that I want to give us a big thank you for supporting the game financially and helping out the dev team. Also, I like stuff like this personally. So you will be able to track how many kills you get with a weapon. With any weapon, this works for anything, or how much damage you've taken on a gear piece, for example. Trophy will now show what difficulty the vault was beaten on and times it has been adjusted for Herald Changes. There we go. So those of you who are speedrunners for the Herald, I know a lot of people do that. There'll be more tracking for that. We added the Big Boy Prophet Seal, which will allow you to modify your bingo board to a 5x5 size. They no longer appear naturally. So no longer will bingo just automatically at level 90 turn to 5x5, which was always weird. Instead, you can manually, whenever you want to, go with the bigger board. Added reputation gain to the crystal stat screen tab. Yep. We have a vault drink machine. Enjoy some tasty vault drinks. I'm not going to showcase that here, but yeah, if you know, you know. Portals can now be flat on the ground. I think this is a pretty big thing that happens today. We added an accessibility setting to hide offense. I'm playing with that in the game. That's why you don't see my wand or my shield in the first person view. You still see them in third person, but first person they're gone. Raw vault clusters can now rarely spawn naturally in the overworld at Y-5. There it is, Dylan. We added new bingo tasks. We added the defeat elite, flawlessly loot coins, silent loot coins, dwellers total, kill dungeon bosses, loot dungeon barrels. This is an interesting one. So you could, for example, get a task that says loot 17 gilded dungeon barrels. And yeah, you might not find that in one dungeon. Right, let's look at balance updates. Crafting proficiencies have been rebalanced to quicker reach master level. I showed you guys this earlier. Hopefully crafting will be more rewarding early game and will be a chase target end game where you really want to get there because you want to be able to craft uniques. Big part of what I've been doing, rune boss updates. I can't get it right, but I'm gonna try again. Runes are now slightly rarer and can no longer come from coin piles. The runes have got an increased range for damage rolls. So instead of rolling 5 to 20%, they roll 15 to 60%, I believe. We have corrected the golem boss damage type, causing one-shots if the player had very low or no resistance. We've updated the spider boss to have a base attack. She didn't previously. You guys know how the spider boss didn't attack you? She tried to poison you, she spawned little babies, they're cute. But she didn't actually attack you. Now she does, and yeah, hopefully it's balanced. We have lowered the frequency spam of cobweb range attack and boogeyman summon attacks as well. My goal here, and I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with the player base, I want 10 runes on normal to be challenging. That's how we've designed the rewards for this objective. 10 runes should be hard on normal difficulty. 20 runes should be for experts. Anything over that should be really, really difficult to beat. Elixir updates that we've done. We lowered the elixir requirement at the level 50 step to avoid the massive wall with this objective at that level. Oh my goodness, Reddit, are you ready for this? He actually nerfed elixir, made it easier at level 50. We have made a new tier at level 100 to account for endgame, raising the required elixir. We tried it out the other day. It wasn't that much harder, but it is what it is. We cleaned up a lot of mob bugs affecting elixir orbs. I've been doing all of this, and my goodness, there were so many bugs with mobs in elixir. We changed the elixir orbs to be particles instead of entities. Big shout out to Josh here, helping frame rate for gamers. Remember in the past when entities could crash even servers? Do you guys remember that? You ran an ore room, a mine room, and it crashed the server. No more of that. They are now particles. We also lowered the chances greatly to get high elixir rolls on coin piles and ores. Yeah, you cannot get jackpot anymore on piles, and you cannot get jackpot on ores. Nerf Skull is here. Here we go. We introduced an 80% AoE cap. I talked about this yesterday, just to summarize real quick. We have a lot of soft caps in Vault Hunters, but because the card system exists, we also had to apply some hard caps. We never got to do it on area of effect, and we didn't get to do it on lucky hit. Our new caps are 80% for increased area of effect, so no more of casting one fireball and clearing an entire room. I know that you can in the current version, but you can't in update 20. 80% is still a lot. Mind you, it's almost double of the ability radius. And we capped lucky hit at 56.2%. So many people are going to wonder, why is it 56.2? And we had the challenge curses. We spoke about it earlier. In the dragon and the raid room, AoE does not apply. When joining a vault, players' health, food, mana, and abilities cooldowns and active state is now reset to default. Nice. When in starting room of a vault and the timer is paused, players cannot fruit. That wasn't ever supposed to be a thing. If the timer can't be moved, it shouldn't be able to be affected upwards either, is the logic. When adding too many curses and entering a vault, the player will now experience death as though the timer expired. Okay, I didn't know that we added this. Ability quickbinds now support key combinations for one ability. There you go. You can shift R bind something. Updated all statistic tooltips to be easier to read and have colors matching their keywords. Added hopper input functionality to bounty table. Prestige powers will now auto-activate if they require activation. And prestige powers now have toggle keybinds, so you can individually bind wings, for example, if you want that. Temporal shards no longer work in special vaults. This was supposed to be the thing already, but I suppose that we missed it for the last update. We moved the Herald music to the music game track to allow for better customization. We make Raid Rock, Infinite Raid Rock, and Herald Rock stackable. We removed unidentified jewel option for the jewel pouch. Yep, we removed that entirely and added another role. We redesigned the companion home screen. It has a much better UX. We updated the block model for the companion home. I like it. I like the old one too, but I like the new one as well, and you can dye it. We reduced the break speed of the companion home block so that it doesn't insta-plop. We updated the hitbox of multiple companions to better fit their models. Nice. Optimized vault snapshot storage. This should resolve issues with corruption that was seen in update 19.6. Added to the pylon quest that the tool requires picking to break. Reduced particles when opening mod boxes. This was after a stream when we did an auto opener. Absorption hours will now render as a number when they exceed one row. Extended and has been buffed from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. I'm scared about this one. Minor changes to crystal recipes. They're not actually super minor. A big shout out to J-Ro here. He went through everything, all of the recipe scaling and how things scales. And hopefully when you play Vault Hunters now from the beginning, you will feel like the crystal recipe matches your infrastructure better. Although if you are a very lazy infrastructure enjoyer like myself, you will still get stuff that you can't do. You have to make farms for. Real vaults now scale ability points for higher level vaults. This is exciting. We ran some real at level 100. It's much better now. Still hard, but it's better. Spectator terminal model block has been updated. That's the cool eye that's now following you around. Treasure room items on pedestal will now show their name. I thought that was also already in. Then we have a bunch of bugs that we fixed, and I'm sure that we will follow up with some hot fixes. But dudes, what an update! To those of you who watched this video, I hope that you are excited for update 20, and it is out on CurseForge by the time you're watching this video for sure. And come join the live streams if you aren't already, if you can. We have great fun here. And yeah, have fun with update 20. This is it.